on the dart scene for many years. Andy Smith up against Joe Murnan, who's a 30-year-old from Bolton, known as Shaggy, on the PDC since 2011. Joe has reached the last 32 of the UK Open in 2011 and in this year, where he lost to Raymond van Barneveld in the 4th round, 9-3. Also had last 16 appearances in the Players' Championship in Barnsley. He beat some big names as well in that tournament. And Dean Winstanley, Dave Chisnell and Andy Hamilton. He won his tour card at Q School earlier this year, the 3rd year in a row. Meanwhile, Andy Smith is a player who's been more prolific on the floor tournaments than on the big stage. Alongside me, Rod Harrington, I'm delighted to say, to watch this last match of the afternoon session. It's been a good afternoon of darts of some highest quality this afternoon, Rod.
Yes, we've seen some great darts, Mike. I think Michael Smith stands out for me. I know Ronnie Baxter beat Raymond van Barneveld, which is a great performance, but we kind of half expected Ronnie to do well anyway. But Michael Smith, well over the 100 average performance of the afternoon. But who's to say that this man, the Pie Man, or Joey Murnan, doesn't outdo Michael Smith's average? I mean, we've got, you know, a very experienced player in Andy Smith against Joe Murnan, relatively new to the PDC circuit, and one of the new breed of players that's coming through. Fearless players on the circuit now, where they used to be. We call it the fear factor, that the likes of Taylor and Priestley and Bristow going back used to have. Now there's no fear factor. These youngsters get up and they just hammer that dartboard. It may be the ones, but
yes, recovered well with the last dart, did Murnan. A place in round 2 against Adrian Lewis, awaiting the winner of this one. And good in that last match to see Jyhan Artut, one of the local qualifiers, make it through. 3 more Germans in action on the stage here this evening. Our evening session getting underway at 7 o'clock local time. That's 6 o'clock if you're watching us in the UK, when Kirk Shepherd takes on one of those aforementioned local qualifiers, Marcel Horsiter. We also have Big John Henderson against Steve Hine, the Muffin Man. Jania Vista against Andre Velga. Dean Winstanley against Steve Douglas. Max Hopp, the Maximizer, against Steve West. Ross Smith against Stephen Bunting, the BDO World Champion, who was switched to the PDC earlier this year. And then possibly the tie of the night, Vincent van der Voort up against Mark Webster, and we round off the night with Alex Roy up against Paul Nicholson. So some tasty encounters to come tonight, but we'll see how this one pans out and who books their place in round 2 against A.D. Lewis, between Joe Murnan and Andy Smith here.
Well, a bit of a poor start there from Joe and from Andy. And it is, we call this short distance now best of 11 first to 6, although, you know, it used to be best of 5. But the standard of the game now, that this is a short sprint to get the 6 legs, and it's so important to get into your rhythm early. Now, if you can do that, put pressure on your opponent from that very first leg, and the advantage is on your side, and you've got to keep it. But Andy Smith, he's one of those players, Mike, that it don't really matter what you hit against him, he's going to play his own game, you know, a bit like the Mickey Mansell, that type of player. And he's had some good results as the Pie Man.
So 124. Well, he's missed the 14, hitting a single 11. And hope that he's not made to pay. We saw Jarkko Komula take out 156 in the first match of the afternoon. Andy Smith won't do it this time, so Murnan will be back to hold his throw and take out double top here to take an early lead then.
Yeah, and hitting the first double always settles you down a bit. If you miss it, then you tend to be a bit edgy. And that's not really a guide from Joe. Well, as you see, when they're that far away, it is very hard to find the double. Got no range. So Smith, it would be a nick if he can hit the double top.
Well, the first one was way too high, just dipped too low with the second attempt at tops, and Joe Murnan does get the job done. 22 dart leg, so just taking a little bit of time to find the range, these two players, and neither made it beyond the first round in this event last year. Joe Murnan beaten by Justin Pipe, and Marino Michaels of the Netherlands seeing off Andy Smith in the opening round.
As you said earlier on, Mike, I mean, this man, Andy Smith, one of the characters, you never get a smile off his face. It doesn't matter what happened. He isn't the player that beats himself up too much, so, you know, he's not dwelling on a loss when he comes into the next game. 100. And there's been a good steady play. Don't take him lightly, that's for sure. Viewers, wherever you are across the world watching us, well, I've known this face on plenty of occasions, but Joey Murnan, as I said, one of the newcomers in the game, and he's a good player. Just needs a little bit more experience, and with experience comes consistency. 100. And sometimes you just have to let it come in. You mustn't force it too much, because you put pressure on yourself, you know, extra pressure that you don't need.
Another treble 20 would be handy, and indeed he does it. So down to 80 then, Smith, to immediately bounce back with his throw.
100, and you require 80.
George Noble, our MC, keeping the scores. That's a great check out from Andy Smith. A good level 15 darts, level tons we call it. 15 darts is just on the 100 average. So a good tidy leg for Smith to level it up.
58.
Yes, he's won some half a dozen PDC ranking titles in the last decade, Andy Smith. Last year he made it to one semi and 2 quarterfinals on the Pro Tour.
100.
And exited the World Championships at Ali Pali very narrowly to James Wade. That was an exciting match, that, losing 4-3, but it going down to a deciding set.
57.
And giving James Wade a little bit of a scare there, did the Pie Man.
I believe he was he 3-0 up at one time, I think.
I believe he was, yeah.
I think I was commentating on the game.
100.
James Wade does what James Wade is so good at. He just gets over the line. He plays the player, James Wade. Doesn't seem to play the dartboard. And as we see Joey Murnan, wow, oh blimey, that's a hard one.
125.
Yeah, a good example. Never gives up, does James Wade. Nor does this man here, Andy Smith. There's Andy Smith now 2 in. Can he find the third?
140.
It gets him down to a finish. So Murnan will look to put a big dent in 261 and does so.
125 and you 161.
Great last start, that. The crowd finding their voices for this last match of the afternoon session.
96 and you are 101.
This man leaves double top. Now Smith. A lot of the Dutch and the Europeans go to 25 for this shot, which I can never understand. Smith going the conventional way. That leaves double 18 for a breaker throw. Big dart here for Smith. Finds the middle of the double 18. A good clean kill from 101. And the first break of throw goes to Andy Smith.
Eight more first round matches tonight. The second round played over 2 sessions tomorrow.
85.
And then on Easter Monday afternoon, we'll have the third round. And then in the evening, the quarterfinals, the semi-final and the final all played.
45.
With £20,000 awaiting the winner. And I'm sure this crowd will get louder as the weekend goes on. And we reach the business end of the tournament on Easter Monday evening.
96.
Yes, we're expecting a full house here this evening.
100.
In the Meriton Hotel here in Berlin. Like you say, the seeds come in tomorrow. All the big guns.
140.
All the players straight back from Aberdeen on the Premier League, which was live on Sky Sports on Thursday night. I'm sure Adrian Lewis, for one person, will be wanting to put his performances from Thursday night at the back of his head and come in here and set himself up for the following Thursday, which is in Manchester.
100.
So no outshot from 162 for Andy Smith, but he's doing a good job at leaving himself a nice tidy finish if he gets the chance. If Murnan doesn't take out this Shanghai shot on the 20s. Well, wayward either side of the 20 there, so a chance for Smith to extend his lead further with double 16.
Yes, Joey Murnan making it too easy for Andy Smith to take a 2-leg lead. All the players like the 120, the Shanghai on the 20s as we call it. But these wild darts here from Joey Murnan, and he needs to straighten them up quick because this man will punish you. And there we have the averages, a good average from Andy Smith. 97 on the first 9, the 88 he would expect more,
140.
but I'm sure we'll see that go up as he edges towards closing this game out if Joe doesn't step his game up.
55.
Well, we're seeing enough ton 40s, but yet to see a 180 from either of these players in this match.
140.
5 ton 40s for Smith now, 2 for Murnan.
And there's that wild dart again from Joe. That is a real, oh, you'd call that a flyer, wouldn't you? So Smith now doesn't need to take this out, he'll go 25 here. Yeah, he didn't need to go 11 balls. I was going 25 to leave the 36. But he's just set that up for the double top to take a 4-1 lead. All Joe can do, well, a 180 would put the pressure on.
100.
As I said again, making it quite easy for Andy Smith to casually take a 4-1 lead.
Double 10 for 4-1. So Murnan yet again needing 120. and really needs to take it out, you feel, to stop Smith getting too far in front.
55. And he requires 10.
So double 5 for Smith, which he'll look not to go too far inside. That's a pretty good marker, so's that. Just a quarter of an inch adjustment.
Yes, 2 good markers there, just above the double 5. That'll enable Andy Smith just to glance off of those 2 darts and bounce it straight in the double 5. So he takes a 4-1 lead, and you know, as I said, Joey's not really putting any pressure on. That's tidy darts from Smith. You know, a couple of 15s, a 16 and an 18. But you feel going to have to step it up if he's going to make a push for the title.
And as you said, Smith just doing his own thing, going about his own game, and just slowly and steadily getting the job done.
100.
Yes, you know, as I said, we've not seen a ton 80 yet. We've not seen any spectacular big outshots, but Smith's getting the job done at 4-1 up and not really being pushed or pressurised by Murnan at this stage.
60.
You're exactly right. You know, he's making it, as I said, very easy for Smithy. And Smithy's very experienced in the game, and you know, we call it grinding the result out. You know, there's no fireworks, there's no big 180s back to back and all that. But you know, sometimes you just get over that finishing line. Who cares if it's ugly or not? You know, winning ugly, still winning. There we have it, no 180s. 5 140s there for Andy Smith, though. That's the telling factor.
60.
And the 86 average, well, 85 now. Nothing to write home about, but a 4-1 lead.
And a big score here from Smith. That's a great way to start it, to leave himself a nice finish if he gets the chance.
140.
Yes, another ton 40 then, but Murnan could stop the rock with 145. No, won't happen this time, so Smith will be back for 84 to go to within one leg of victory and a place in tomorrow's second round against the 2 times world champion.
Well, I don't know where that was for
Adrian Lewis.
20, sorry, or the 25.
Yeah, so a wry smile there from Andy Smith. He knows he's made a bit of a Horlicks of that visit. So an opportunity for Murnan to pounce. Double top.
Perhaps that's the bit of luck that Joey Murnan needs to getting the motor running. That was a breaker throw. 4-2 down now. A good strong leg here. Hold your throw. And then you are back in the game, young man. And there's that big high 5 again. As we said before, Mike, you know, scruffy scoring, don't scare your opponent. You know, them ton pluses, when you look over and you think, oh, blimey, even a bad shot is a ton, it frightens them.
So Murnan well ahead in this leg, and has a bit of time to knock this off if he can, leave a decent finish when he returns, but again, disappointing last start. but it puts him on 83 to go to just within one leg of the Pie Man.
Well, no need to go the bullseye route for Joe. So we treble 17 with the first dart. He's 66. So go treble 10 here. That leaves double 18 for the leg. He will come back, but that double 18 route, the double 18 everybody loves. The double 9, I'm afraid not. So Smith will just look to hit a nice round ton or a ton 40 would really put the pressure on. And it's exactly what he's done. Now what Joey can't afford to do is split this double 18 with the first dart. He needs to put it straight in or just on the outside.
Oh dear. The dreaded double 9.
How many times do we say that, Mike?
The commentator's curse. Don't go inside on the double 18. So double 16 then to go to within one leg of victory. And yes, really did turn the screw there and capitalise on Murnan's mistake.
Well, it was Joe's best scoring leg of the match so far. And had plenty of darts to clean it up and just failed to do so. And Smith now knows just a good straight 15 dart leg, and he'll feel that will get him over the winning line. Means that this man Joe will have to throw a 12 darter.
135.
This afternoon we've seen Jarkko Komula, David Pallett, Andrew Gilding, Ronnie Baxter, Michael Smith, Magnus, Caris and Jyhan Artut all booked their places in tomorrow's second round of the German Darts Masters. Andy Smith the favourite to join them.
Well, we have to mention Andrew Gilding, 6 out of 6 on doubles, 100%. Doesn't see that, well, you don't see that very often at all. And when we was commentating on him, we said, you know, how well he'd been playing on the tour over the last couple of years and got plenty of bottle. And he certainly proved it today.
60.
Well, this would be a great way to take out the highest possible outshot, but it's not going to happen for Murnan.
60. And you require
And a visit without a treble does not help. Smith will be thinking, I've probably got 6 darts from here. Well, he's going to need 6, but he needs to set it up, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to give himself at least 2 darts at a double. Look at the treble 10, that will left him double top. So he comes back for a big 20, 2 at double top if Joe can't take out the 110. Now I'd stay on the treble 20, Joe. Don't go for the double 18. Well, he's done it and hit it. So the double 18 again. No, sorry. Sorry, viewers. My eyes are going. I thought that was in the treble 18 from where we were sitting.
So for the match, Andy Smith, 60. Can he sneak it in for the double top? For a 6-2 win he can. And Andy Smith is through to the second round where he'll play Adrian Lewis tomorrow. That concludes our afternoon session, but the first round continues tonight, 7 o'clock here in Europe, 6 o'clock if you're watching in the UK, kicking off with Kirk Shepherd against one of the German qualifiers, Marcel Horster. One of 8 first round matches we'll bring you tonight. We'll hear a few words from Andy Smith and we'll catch you tonight. Thanks for watching.
Joe's a lot better player than that, and so am I. He played well to get here. I mean, he beat Kevin Painter, but things just didn't happen today. I mean, we're last game on, a bit of a slow afternoon, but I got the job done, and I know Joe weren't on his game.
Tomorrow, Adrian Lewis is waiting. You have to improve your game, I think.
A little bit.
So it's good to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Bye, man, Andy Smith. Also er sagt, das war kein gutes Spiel, aber er hat es gewonnen, Haken hinter. Da geht es einfach mal darum, dass man so ein Match auch gewinnt. Joe Murnan hatte in der Qualifikation in England Kevin Painter unter anderem bezwungen. Also der hat auch schon große Namen bezwungen. Möchte euch noch so ein bisschen heiß machen auf die Abendsession. Möchte euch kurz noch die Partien durchgeben, die da anstehen, diese 8 Matches. Es geht los mit dem Lokalmatador Marcel Hausotter gegen das One-Hit-Wonder Kirk Shepard, den WM-Finalisten von 2008. John Henderson gegen den Muffin-Man Steve Hine. Dann kommt gleich der nächste Deutsche. André Welge hat es mit Jani Havisto zu tun. Dean Wynn Stanley gegen Steve Douglas. Max Hopp, der Maximizer, gegen Steve West. Ross Smith gegen den BDO-Weltmeister Stephen Bunting. Sein erster Auftritt hier in Deutschland bei einem PDC-Turnier. Vincent van der Voort, der schnellste von allen Gegnern.